Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey, traveling millions of years back in time to witness the very dawn of humanity. We're exploring the Paleolithic era, also known as the Old Stone Age. This isn't just a period of cavemen and mammoths. It's the epic saga of our earliest ancestors, a story of survival, innovation, and the birth of what it means to be human. So, grab your virtual stone tools, and let's step into the past. The Paleolithic era is a vast expanse of time. Stretching from about 3.3 million years ago, all the way to around 10,000 BC, it covers over 99% of human history. To make sense of it all, archaeologists divide it into three main parts: the Lower, Middle, and Upper Paleolithic. Each stage represents a monumental leap in our ancestors' abilities and understanding of the world. Our story begins in the Lower Paleolithic, in the sun-drenched savannas of Africa. Here, we meet our earliest relatives, the hominins, like the famous Lucy and Australopithecus afarensis. But the real game-changer was the emergence of the genus Homo *, specifically Homo habilis *, the handyman, around 2.6 million years ago. These resourceful beings created the first known stone tools, the old Darwin tool industry. Imagine picking up one rock to chip away at another, creating a sharp edge. This simple act was a revolution. It allowed them to butcher meat from carcasses, crack open bones for marrow, and process plants. This wasn't just about getting a meal, it was the first spark of technology. The moment we started to actively shape our environment to our will. As we move forward in time, we meet a true pioneer, Homo erectus, These were the great explorers of the Paleolithic world. Taller, with larger brains, they were the first hominins to migrate out of Africa, spreading across Asia and Europe. Their tool-making skills were also more advanced. They developed the Acheulean hand axe, a beautifully crafted, symmetrical, teardrop-shaped tool. This wasn't just a sharper rock. It was a multi-purpose gadget. It could be used for chopping wood, digging for roots, and butchering large animals. The uniformity of these hand axes across vast distances suggests that knowledge and skills were being passed down through generations, hinting at the early beginnings of culture and teaching. But perhaps the most significant milestone of the Lower Paleolithic was the harnessing of fire. Imagine a world of perpetual twilight and cold, where predators lurked in the shadows. Fire changed everything. It provided warmth against the biting cold of the ice ages, light to extend the day, and protection from dangerous animals. It also revolutionized their diet. Cooking food not only made it safer to eat by killing parasites but also made it easier to digest, unlocking more nutrients. This extra energy likely played a crucial role in the development of our ever-growing brains. Gathering around a campfire, sharing food and stories, may have been the first social network, strengthening community bonds. Now, let's journey into the Middle Paleolithic, from about 300,000 to 30,000 years ago. This is the age of the Neanderthals Homo neanderthalensis, in Europe and Asia, and the emergence of our own species, Homo sapiens in Africa. The Neanderthals were not the brutish cavemen often depicted in cartoons. They were highly intelligent and incredibly adapted to their cold environments. They developed a more sophisticated tool-making technique called the Mousterian industry, which involved carefully preparing a coarse stone to strike off multiple specialized flakes. This was like having a toolkit with different instruments for different jobs: scrapers for hides, points for spears, and knives for cutting. The Middle Paleolithic also gives us the first definitive evidence of deliberate burial of the dead. At sites like Shanidar Cave in Iraq, Neanderthal remains were found buried with what might be clumps of pollen, suggesting they were laid to rest with flowers. This points to a profound cognitive leap, the capacity for symbolic thought, grief, and perhaps even a belief in an afterlife. They were caring for their sick and elderly, showing compassion and a complex social structure. They were a successful and resilient species that thrived for hundreds of thousands of years. Meanwhile, back in Africa, Homo sapiens were coming into their own. Early modern humans were also making sophisticated tools and adapting to diverse environments. The real explosion of creativity, however, happens as we enter the Upper Paleolithic, around 50,000 years ago. This period is often called the Human Revolution because of the unprecedented flourishing of art, technology, and culture. The toolkit of Upper Paleolithic people was incredibly diverse and refined. They mastered the art of making long, thin blades from stone, which could be turned into an array of specialized tools. But they didn't stop at stone. They used bone, antler, and ivory to create finely crafted needles for sewing-fitted clothing, barbed harpoons for fishing, and spear throwers known as atlots, which allowed them to hunt large game from a safer distance with greater force and accuracy. This technological prowess enabled humans to thrive in virtually every environment on Earth. But the most breathtaking legacy of the Upper Paleolithic is the art. Deep within caves like Lascaux in France and Altamira in Spain, our ancestors painted stunningly realistic and vibrant images of horses, bison, mammoths, and deer. Using charcoal and natural pigments, they created masterpieces that still fill us with awe today. Why did they do this? Were these hunting magic, shamanic rituals, or simply stories told by the flickering firelight? We may never know for sure, but these paintings are a direct message from the past, proving that the desire to create and communicate is a fundamental part of the human spirit. Beyond cave paintings, they sculpted small, portable figurines. The most famous of these are the Venus figurines, like the Venus of Willendorf. These sculptures, with their exaggerated features, may have been symbols of fertility, motherhood, or survival. They also crafted intricate jewelry from shells, teeth, and ivory beads, showing a desire for personal adornment and social identity. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about expression, symbolism, and community. By the end of the Paleolithic era, about 12,000 years ago, our ancestors had populated almost every corner of the globe, from the icy tundras of Siberia to the shores of Australia and the Americas. They had weathered dramatic climate shifts, developed complex social networks, mastered their environments with incredible ingenuity, and created the world's first art. They laid the entire foundation upon which all subsequent human history from the first farms to the digital age is built. The story of the Paleolithic is our story. It's a powerful reminder of our species' resilience, our deep-seated creativity, and our enduring ability to innovate and overcome challenges. When we look at a simple stone tool or a 30,000-year-old cave painting, we are looking at the minds of our ancestors and seeing a reflection of ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the dawn of humanity. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the past. Let me know in the comments which part of the Paleolithic era you find most amazing. Until next time, stay curious.